Drive of San Francisco is really about, for us, going back to the roots on many levels of the original Driver game and what made that game so much of a unique experience. So we brought back a number of elements like John Tanner, for example, the undercover cop that we played in the original game, he's back. Jericho is arch enemy that we met in Driver 2, he's back. And we've also set the action back in Driver 1's San Francisco, our most iconic car chase city of all time, obviously made famous for that through Bullet. So we brought back a lot of the elements, also the handling of the cars, very, very important. The handling of the original Driver 1 is well and truly back in San Francisco. And we've added new features like the shift element, which is a brand new feature that allows the player to instantaneously, seamlessly shift between multiple cars. To put it in context, Tanner is puts himself into a coma through an incident at the beginning of the game. You have to play the story to really see how this works into the game, but it basically allows the player to be around above the city, and when they're above the city they can see the cars, they can identify the cars, and you can instantaneously shift into any vehicle at any time. It is a limited ability, it has to be charged, but basically you can grab any car, you can do fun stuff like setting up crashes and so on, but principally it's a tool for accessing missions, choosing missions, and also crucially during missions for using the cars as tools to maybe bring a chase to an end using an 18-wheeler rig, for example.
The Jericho is a different beast. I've always sworn I'd drive the hell of that to take him down. Looks like I just got my chance.
Well, specifically in San Francisco, I think really for us it's the handling. It's all about the handling that's come back. But the other thing that's really great about San Francisco is that the multiplayer experience is absolutely transformed by the shift ability. A lot of the problems you get in a driving game or a racing game, you have a crash on the first bend or a crash in the very beginning of a chase, and that's kind of the end of the fun for you. But with shift, we can keep the player back in the action. You can stay in the action to the extent that you have the shift charged. And it just transforms it. I think because people are stealing cars off each other, and it can go right to the wire. We have 9 multiplayer modes, the online modes. We also have a split screen mode. We're actually demonstrating here a live playable one of those modes, which is called Trailblazer, and it's a relatively simple game, which is why we have it at E3 obviously, and it's about following a car that's emitting like a stream of light, and you're driving behind, you have to collect that light. So you can imagine what happens. All the other players are all, sort of jostling for position and trying to crash into each other and knock them out of the way. Very simple game, but just very, very playable and addictive. We don't feature the out-of-car action that we had in the last couple of games. It's very much about focusing on the driving experience, on the crashes. We have, for the first time in Driver's history, we have real licensed cars, well over 100 of them, and they're an interesting pick of cars as well. Not your usual supercars and luxury sedans and so on. We've got some very interesting, iconic cars. If you can think of a car chase movie, probably that car is in the game. The ship date is the 4th quarter this year, so that's the holiday season.